everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. Happy Friday. Today I am going to show you my currently inked pens. I've done the swatch ahead of time, as you can see, and everything is here off to the side and ready to go. So the first one I will write with is this Tex-Mex. This is a Colorverse ink. There we go, Colorverse ink. And it has been one of my favorite inks over the past year or so. It works really well, I think, like every pen I've tried it in. But I do currently have it in my Conklin All-American, and this is the tortoise shell design, I guess you would call it. I thought it'd be fun to pick up on the little red bits that are in this pen. This one is a broad. I like this style of pen. It is reminiscent of vintage pens. It's designed to look that way. It's a little chunkier in the grip section, and that suits me quite well. So we'll just do a little writing sample. Colorverse Tex-Mex. When I write with this in my journal, I never really pick up on that sheen that you're seeing in this larger swatch here. It's just this deep, saturated red, but brown leaning maybe. It's not like a bright red. And I'll just write here, Conklin, my broad nib. I only have a couple Conklins, so I'll know what that is, but oh well, what the heck, let's just write it since there's room and I can squeeze it in. Just a wet writer, especially with this ink. Maybe not with every ink, but with this, it's such a good match. And I will say again, I mentioned in a previous video, I'm really having fun not matching the inks with the pen. So in the past, I would have thought of all my browns, my golden yellows, not so much the red. And I'm liking picking things that don't necessarily match. It's been really good for me to expand the combinations that I have available if I don't try to match everything. This, however, is a match. This is Van Diemen's Harvest. This is part of the Harvest series, and this is Golden Nugget Pumpkin. Don't know if you can tell, but I'm probably 4/5 of the way done with this. And sometimes I love this ink. Other times I'm about it. I think it's maybe the color is has more of a pop, a brightness to it than I always enjoy writing with. But in this Opus 88 broad nib orange demonstrator, it is a really nice combination. With this pen, you can loosen up, I forget what it's called, but the knob here allows the ink to flow to the feed and nib. And as long as I remember to open that or keep it open for a while, it really gives me a nice wet flow. So we'll just say Van Diemen's. See, it just gushes out of here. And we'll just say Golden Nugget. I guess we can get pumpkin in there. And this is the Opus 88 broad orange demonstrator. This was the pen that I bought at my first pen show, the 2022 St. Louis Pen Show. And I have been quite happy with it. At first, I wasn't sure, but I have found it to be a really fun nib and fun pen. I just think it looks cheerful. This makes me think of candy. I've mentioned that before. I was just so drawn to this pen when I first saw it. I wasn't really planning on buying it, but I did. But you probably know that story. In my Conklin All-American Old Glory model, I have Robert Oster's. See, do I have the sample here? Yes, I do. Robert Oster Thunderstorm. I love a rainy day. I love a thunderstorm. And I saw this on the Van Ness website, and I really wanted to try it because it said it was a ink with a wet flow. My experience has been that generally Robert Oster are more medium to dry, and I guess I just don't have the right pen and ink combinations to really enjoy a drier ink. So when it just kept saying it was a nice wet flow, I really wanted to try it, and I thought it would be kind of fun with this pen to pick up on some of the blues, although, again, doesn't have to match, but it coordinates with it without having to be too matchy-matchy. The interesting thing about this ink is the brown sheen. A low brown sheen sounded interesting to me, and they call this a blue black. So here you can see it's much more saturated. Let's see, what other comments did I read? That it, when in a heavy flow of ink and a real wet writer, it will look almost black, but it is a blue black with a brown sheen. Oops, there we go. Robert Oster Thunderstorm. On this Cosmo Air Light, so many pens and inks work so nicely. I really, really like this paper. I know it's going away. There's still some available out there, I'm sure. I've been able to buy it off of Paper Penguin Company, but anyway, it just works so good with so many. And this is my Conquin. This is a medium nib. I couldn't find this one in broad for the price I wanted to pay. Old Glory. You can see in this writing, hopefully, that's not too much of a glare here from my lamp, but it is pretty dark looking in the writing. A close look, you can see, okay, like down here, as it fades just a little, you can get the blue in there, but it is a blue-black. Wouldn't guess it from the swatch, but I like that. I like it a lot, and that's such a good flow. Again, this pen is modeled after vintage era pens. It's got that nice clip if you're into that. Sort of, I guess, that cigar shape, but it does taper more towards the back of the pen. Okay, next in line, I have to go in the order that they're here, or I'll totally forget. I've really been getting mixed up on my purples. This is Monteverdi's Pumpkin Cake, and I've used a good amount of that too and shared samples. This is very nice ink. It's wet flowing, looks fallish. I had a drop here the other day when I was swatching, so I tried to cover that up. It was such a mess. I was trying to be all neat and tidy, and I just made a total mess. And this page I ripped out because I dropped ink all over that. Anyway, so we have, what is it? Yes, Monteverdi, how do you say it? Pumpkin Cake. I always wanted to say pumpkin pie for some reason, but it's Pumpkin Cake. And tell me if you remember, is this part of the Comfort series or something with a name like that? I like this a lot. It's quite similar to, here we go. Similar to, what am I thinking of? Diamine's Ancient Copper. But it has some nice shading. Again, a nice wet flowing ink. And this pen is my Tailored Pen Company Havasupai Falls, which is a place in Arizona. It's got a lot of this green leaning turquoise, some purple, sort of a golden tannish, lots of orange, of course. Really beautiful pen. I like writing with this when I have the right ink in it, and this is a good ink to have in it. And it also has a broad Yovo nib. and a copper clip, which I requested. Okay, so, oh, yeah, duh. Let's write this down. I'll just try to squeeze it in here. Tailored Pen Company. The model is Churchill, if you're interested in exploring ordering a pen from them. And I'll just make it Hav Falls instead of Havasupai. But anyway, the Churchill model is flat on each end. They do such a good job with making this cap and body just blend almost seamlessly. I've said this in previous videos, but I can barely feel that connection area. So really pleasant. Nice size too. I like that a lot. And then next we have a sample I ordered from Van Ness Pens. This is Tasha's. Okay, I'm confused to tell you the truth because it has this long name here, Kitagawa Yumi Murasaki. In my order notes, it just has Yume Murasaki as two different words. So I had a little hard time finding it again on the website because I thought maybe I had accidentally ordered this. I wasn't sure. I think maybe in the swatch on the website it shows more of this deeper tone that you see there with just a little ring of sheen. But it's such a fun match for the TWSBI Diamond 580 in the smoke and rose gold. I think this kind of sort of brown, the brown leaning pink, just is a fun and good match for this. I have liked this quite a bit. I've just inked it up the other day, but so far it's been pretty good. I usually enjoy writing with a darker colored ink, so it's something that I need to just kind of give myself a little trial with before I just dismiss it. But you might enjoy this combination. They say it's a average flow, I think is what it said on the website. But it does feel pretty good. I wouldn't say it's a gusher, but it's not bad. Okay, I gotta look at this. Murasaki. I like the brownness that comes through. How shall we do this? This is a Diamond 580. I'm just gonna say 580. It's the only one I have, so it's not like I'll be confused on which pen I used. But pretty pen. I love how TWSBI did the cap on this. Just has a kind of a nice quality look to it with the, I guess it's sort of an acrylic overlay of the emblem, where the eco models are, just more basic plastic insert there, but this is a little step up, and I think it's a really pretty pen. This again is my Pilot E95S. It's in the medium nib. This was my Christmas present from my son Drew this past Christmas. And in this I have, well, first of all, that's right, E95S. It's medium nib, Pilot, and it's the black color with the gold trim. There's a maroon, or maybe it's called burgundy, and like a white that you can also get. I think that's all. I don't know if there's any other colors. And this is Noodler's Heart of Darkness, and this is such a great combination. The black is almost charcoal leaning, a deep gray with more blackness in the heavily inked sections. But in a regular writing experience, it looks like this. It looks like a good solid black. It is such a reliable combination. No running dry, smooth. It's really awesome. This does have a, it's a 14 karat, yeah, 14 karat gold nib. And the thing that people say, the only thing about it is when you're gripping it, if you're not careful, you can kind of slide your fingers down too close to the feed and nib and get your fingers inky. I have had that happen on more than one occasion, but I love this feel, and being a person that gravitates towards a chunky pen, I'm quite surprised how much I like just holding this pen. Okay, the last, I have 3 inks and 2 pens here. I think my other one's in the other rooms. I'll get it in a minute. We have the Van Diemen's Blackberry Jam. This is another purple sample I recently received from Van Ness. Again, trying to find a fall purple that fit what I had in my mind, which I don't think I succeeded at, but I like it. But I've already had similar purples in my stash, but this still is super nice. Now, which one is it? I think it's this one. See what I mean? They're so close. So this is my, well, let's start with the ink. Van Diemen's. Do I have that mixed up? I think this is right. Okay. We may have to do an arrow. Blackberry Jam. Yeah, this is the right one. And this is my Enso Payuma. And this came in a medium, and it's a Bach nib, which is, I have mixed feelings about. I like this pen. I love the color, golden yellow. The grip section is comfortable, but it is a minimalist style, they say. Love that little clicky noise. It almost sounds like glass when you put the lid on or remove it. But my not so sure about is the Bach nib. I really wanted to try it, so I was happy to buy this Bach nib. I think it only came in medium or fine, but I just have such an inconsistent experience. I've tried to separate the tines a little, but tried to smooth it. Sometimes it still feels scratchy, so I am not sure what the deal is. I'm going to keep working with it. I heard that they're really good writers, but maybe I just need to tweak it, or I don't have the right pen and ink combination. This one, however, for the little while I've been testing it out, I do like this, and I like this purple because it does look like blackberry jam, and that's a kind of purple that I like. Maybe you could think of it as having some depth to it, maybe some like black in it even, so it's a deeper color. And then the one that I did buy was this Tyrian purple. I liked how it looked on the website. Seemed like it was a good deal. Not too big of a bottle, so it won't be impossible to use up. And it's a Diamine fountain pen ink, if I didn't mention that. I usually have pretty good luck with their inks. And I wanted to look up what Tyrian was before I did this video, and I forgot to. Please feel free to comment below if you know the meaning of that word. This pen is the green abalone, which I bought this year at the pen show. But this purple in here, I thought it'd be fun to kind of pick up on that a little bit. And this is green abalone. It's a nice size. It's got some chunk to it, but it's not like really big like some of these are. But it's not super narrow in the grip, which sometimes seems to be more tiring for me. In here is the SD broad nib that I had from another pen, which I've tried to tweak a little bit because it was a little bit dry. And then the last one we're going to do is Monteverde Olivine as soon as I go get the pen. I put it in the TWSBI Glow Green. Again, not needing to match, but when I was doing my lineup, I realized I don't have a TWSBI going, and I thought trying a stub nib with this would be fun. And I wanted to add some green as well to this little fall lineup here because, you know, we can see there's kind of pretty much the same, the two oranges, two purples, kind of reddish, a blue and a black. So it seemed like to me we needed a little more something going on. This is such a nice flow on the Cosmo Air paper. I was writing with it this morning in a journal on Cosmo Air, and I'm like, oh man, that is how every pen and ink needs to feel to be perfect for me. It's very wet, it's really pretty green. This is a sample, as you can see. TWSBI 1.1. Friend Marcy, she sent this to me, so thank you, Marcy. This has been a really nice green that I have finally gotten to really inking up and experimenting with. And even though they don't have to match, it's fun when they do, and I like the look of the green on the side when you spin it, and it kind of picks up on the glow green. Just as a little side, I'm wondering, have you tried Edelstein Olivine? And have you tried Monteverde Olivine? So same name, but I haven't used this in a while. I think it's a little bit dry for me, but I think it's slightly more blue leaning of a green. I may do a little swatch just over here and come back and show you, but I'd be interested in your thoughts. My first impression today, though, with using this is a much wetter, saturated color, which is preferable to the way I like my pens and inks to feel together. So let me pause this and do a little swatch of that, and we'll take a look. Okay, yes. Suspicions confirmed. The Edelstein Olivine is, I think, more of a cool color, where this is warmer. What do you like better? Here's my current selections, and they could change at any moment. I'll be writing with something and then be like, no, I don't like this anymore. I'm gonna rinse it out. I have to like it, or I just don't want to write with it. Now let's look at this one. Hoping you can see the shading. Have a great weekend. We'll see y'all again soon. Take care. Bye.